This video goes out to Subscatter on Twitter. The question being corporations versus businesses. There is a difference. In context, or backstory rather, I was talking to him on our radio slash podcast show that we do every Friday. We were talking specifically about roads because of the last video on this channel was about who will build the roads if we don't have a government. He brought up a story regarding Denver, Colorado, and a hard time they had with a government planned, I guess, a loop around the city of Denver. And it was very poorly planned, and they couldn't fund it after they had started, so they gave it up to private entities, which then turned it into a toll road. And apparently it didn't get any better when that happened. So he was coming from the standpoint that government doesn't necessarily make it worse. There are corporations that also make things worse. And the truth of the matter is that is true. There are corporations that make it worse, to which I said, hold up, corporations shouldn't exist. Here's the deal, right? I don't know if you knew this, but by definition, a corporation is a person. A lot of people don't understand this and they don't realize it. I'll give you a short summary. Incorporating means that your business is now legally viewed by courts as a person. Does it have all the same rights as a person? No, not, because obviously it's not even human. But person, as in, say a business is operating and something happens, your business causes a death, it causes property damage, something along those lines to where you need to get a court involved because you're going to sue. Who gets sued? The corporation, not the owner of the business. Now, if you didn't incorporate, the person you sue is usually the owner of the business. So, you see the problem here is, if you don't see the problem here, I'll spell it out for you. It's the fact that when you sue a business, instead of the person who runs the business, who gets the feeling of being held accountable? The answer is nobody, because the person who owns the business does not care. And in fact, not only do they not care, financially, it does not matter to them. So they haven't been punished in any way whatsoever. They haven't felt any pain from the incident that they caused. Now, it's arguable, obviously, incident by incident. If some damage happened or whatever, well, the employee did this and it was stupid and it caused this problem. What people don't understand is accountability. If I'm hiring somebody to do a job, I'm supposed to vet them before I give them the job. That means if they're unaccountable, if they are reckless, if they are just not good material when it comes to a person to hire, then you shouldn't be hiring them. That's your job, really, as the employer, is to find the right people. If you hire someone that's no good and they cause property damage to somebody else, death, wrongful death to somebody else, oh my gosh, you made a big mistake hiring that guy. And should that guy be held accountable at all? Probably. Yeah. Should the guy that hired him be held accountable? Absolutely. In my opinion, there's no argument. The guy, you hired this incompetent person that ended up killing someone on accident, so you had no vetting process. I think the family who is affected by this incident should have all recourse against the person for retribution. Should be taken. That's my opinion. Do I think a government needs to be involved? No, I don't. I personally don't. I don't believe in having a government, but I do believe that family should take care of it themselves. What does that mean? I don't know. It's none of my business. I'm not that family. In the example given with roads, Denver, a corporation took over and did a worse job, in his opinion, on the outcome of the roads. It sounded to me like they had a bad plan to begin with, which my beginning argument with that situation was that government doesn't hire experts. Anybody can run for office. But if you go to the polling place and you see all the other names that are locally running for office, and you can vote for them too, do you actually go research every single person and make sure that they are qualified? Or do you vote based on their party? Or do you just not vote for them? I know around here where I'm at, there are positions that have nobody running for them. Literally just empty positions that nobody's filled. Back to what I was saying. A corporation not being held accountable doesn't have to go through the growing pains of accountability. The difference here is that a business that has to grow from scratch and doesn't get perks and doesn't get all of the backdoor deals that a large corporation gets. Well, didn't that large corporation start small? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe it's an offshoot of a larger corporation. That happens a lot. Say you're a small business, and I have experience in this. So not because I own a small business, but I work at one that's small enough that I know all of the operations. A small business needs a few things to thrive. One, they have to have a product that the people want. Two, it has to be so much better than everything else out there that you get customers. Three, you have to have employees that are so dedicated to producing the exact same quality all the time, nonstop, or at least the quality that we've claimed that we are all the time. So if you don't do that, you're going to fail. You're going to get a bad reputation, and you do fail. The other thing that makes it hard for a small business is regulations and taxes. Unfortunately, when it comes to tax revenue, it's almost about the same as if you had to pay for double the employees that you had. Only you don't have double the employees. You pay your employees and then you take almost the same amount and you give it to the government. It's pretty dang close to you're paying for twice the employees you actually have. So we're trying to grow in adverse conditions. A large corporation doesn't have these. They get tax breaks, they get backroom deals, they can lobby, they can afford to lobby. Think about that for a second. When you pay a lobbyist to go lobby, the person they're lobbying to has to, you got to give them some scratch. They have to have a benefit, or they're not going to listen to you. Are you kidding? So like if I went and lobbied to Washington D.C. right now, they wouldn't listen to me. They wouldn't care. They would appease me and be like, "Oh, that's interesting. Very good. Yeah. Oh, I like what you have to say." And then when I leave, they're like, "He isn't paying me jack shit. I ain't listening to that shit." That's basically the way that it goes. The difference here being, I don't know if you've caught all the examples or the notions here, but large corporation, no accountability. They don't need to be accountable. They don't need quality. I'll give you another example of that. I won't name the store. It's blue and it's big and they're usually box shaped. They sell hardware. This corporation in particular pays billions of dollars per year in refunds. And they don't plan on changing their way of business. So it isn't adverse for them to pay billions in refunds. It's not a deterrent, meaning they make so much money they can afford to give back billions just to shut people up. They move into an area, they absorb all the needs of the people in one location, shutting down smaller businesses, and then when all the small businesses are gone and people realize like these people don't know what they're doing very well and they don't produce results, and then you complain, they go, we'll give you a gift card to come back to our store. So you see, it means nothing. This is junk. Reason being, we're seeing an influx of business. All we're doing is producing results, producing what people want at high quality, reasonable price, and locally. People feel good about buying local. The results are way better than you're going to get at some large corporation. I don't know if you've ever called into a place and tried to get customer service. Everyone understands your problem and no one can help. I understand, and there's nothing I can do. Would you like me to escalate the problem? And then they do that. I've said, yeah, can you, that little button or whatever it is that you hit to escalate the problem, can you hit it exactly as many times as it takes to solve my problem. Just keep hitting it until my problem's solved. Does that work? No. They don't have customer service. They don't care about you. That is a corporation. A business, just a business, especially a small business, they thrive on results. Where I work, it's extremely challenging. We're coming up with developments in-house that I participate in with the research and development. It's a lot of fun because it's so challenging, because these are problems that when you do what I do, you see people all the time and you hear their problems, you realize that you're going to help people quite a bit. Specifically, it has to do with kitchen remodeling, design, and that type of thing. Nobody does it the way we do it. And that's the difference. You see, we strive to achieve. Why? Because it'll make us more money in the end. Because if nobody else is doing it, guess what? We're meeting a market demand. And this is the thing, right? That's a free market type of ideology, that you serve your fellow man. You help them out. They will come to you if they see you as the most beneficial, and they'll pay you because you're helping so much. There is nothing wrong with that. The reason people have such a bad taste in their mouth with the word capitalism is because they haven't lived under free market capitalism. We've never had it, ever. We've had corporate law from day one. Corporations are people. When Mitt Romney said that and the crowd was like, they are not. Sorry, you don't know the definition of corporation apparently, but that's what it means. If you don't like it, you're basically saying you don't like the economic system of America. And I'm with you because it's not a free market. I believe that a free market would solve these problems. Well, what do we do about the big corporations? I mean, if we're talking abolish government, who's going to protect these corporations when they kill millions of people? Example, DuPont. Been poisoning people along the Ohio River for over 50 years, allegedly. They pay fines annually, like an electric bill, for doing so. Did that stop them? No. Why would that stop them? They don't care about results, remember? Corporations. What is our recourse? Certainly not government. Government's helping them out. And they're helping out the people in government by, give them a little scratch. The only recourse you have to, hey, they're poisoning everyone along the Ohio River that's attempted murder, and actually is murder when people die of cancer. People in my family have died of cancer since we moved here. Coincidence? I don't know, but it's pretty shady. Anyways, what I'm saying is, all of these things are not free market ideas. All of these things are not helpful. They don't produce results. And when you see something that doesn't produce results, you're supposed to stop it and do something else. What the hell? Why haven't we done this? This doesn't work. Let's keep doing it? This doesn't work. Let's keep doing it. Why are we still doing this? Well, I get a lot of money, said the person in government that's being greased by corporations. I don't honestly think in a free market society with no government, any business could get anywhere near as large as all of these super corporations. Because, if you got to be accountable as an owner of the business for all of the screw-ups, you don't get very big. You don't. It's just not possible. Someone's going to screw up. If you spread yourself really thin all across America and you're like, oh, we're going to be a national business. Good luck. Imagine for yourself, if you were trying to control 20 stores all throughout America for something that was a big deal, you had heavy equipment, all kinds of stuff, how could you make sure not one employee ever made a mistake that either damaged somebody else's property or somebody else's person? Good luck. Because once that happens, you're ruined. You're going to get sued. Well, if there's no government, you're not going to get sued. But if there's no government, that gives the person affected recourse to affect you, the business owner. Because guess what? You've attacked them. They get to have a recourse. It's perfectly moral. Especially if you're killing them. Anyways, you don't get results with corporations. You don't get results with government. You do get results with small business. And small businesses can't really grow that big if they have to be accountable for everything they do. That's the check and balance that's natural. I know it's subjective because it's a personal experience, but that is my personal experience. That a small business cannot do the atrocities that you've seen from these large corporations. It's these guys, they don't care about any mistakes. They're going to give out gift cards. Here's a $500 gift card to come to our store again. And somehow that puts a smile on their face like, yeah, I beat him. I got him out of $500 more. No, you didn't get him out of $500 more because you're going to spend that $500 gift card and they're not going to make a profit on the stuff that you buy. Stuff is going to be full retail. Hopefully, this answers some of the issue of why businesses are different than corporations. Why in anarchism, I think that a free market is the most logical and ethical way of interacting with fellow humans. There will always be problems. Sorry, everyone's an individual. Not everybody fits a certain way. Funny thing about a free market, you can have socialism in a free market. You can go make a co-op. Nobody's stopping you. You can go make a shared purse community. Nobody's stopping you in a free market. It's not all that bad to have a free market. And if you're thinking, well, we have one now and it's so bad. No, we don't have one now. Government controls most of the market. And of what the government doesn't control, there's currently lobbyists trying to make sure it gets controlled by the large corporations. There's nobody wins. And then it becomes fascist, which that's kind of where we are right now. So, taxation is theft, abolish the government. Government is immoral. Anarchy is moral. Like and subscribe.